we are talking to Roman Oryshchenko, head of Center of Support to Volunteers, and Mykola Murenyuk, the commander of Kiev Fortress of Self-Defense of Maidan. Glory to Ukraine. We would like today to talk about the activities of the Center of Support to Volunteers, which is and support to battalions, despite the events in the front, the so-called ceasefire. The warriors, the servicemen need assistance. Now especially they need warm clothes and everything needed for the autumn and winter period of time. This week we increased the number of convoys to ATO zone so that the servicemen could have a maximum of such things. In one of the convoys we sent Lithuanian cargo and also the assistance from Poland. We sent to Debaltseva, to Artemivsk, to the hospital, the medical equipment and other things to the 1st Voluntary Battalion of the National Guards of Ukraine, named after Kulchitsky, and that was the first one set up as volunteer unit in the system of law enforcement of Ukraine. Despite the ceasefire, the convoys were shelled from Graz, and Andriy Gabrov and Andriy Levus were there, and they saw what is happening during the ceasefire. Now there is an agreement on preparing and on manufacturing and transferring the stoves, so-called burjuika stoves, which are needed in the front. We would like to thank everyone who's helping Ukrainian army and the servicemen in the front line, those who bring warm clothes to the Ukrainian house, to the Center of Support of Volunteers, and also the centers in the regions. Every day we send assistance to the front line. Another type of assistance could be, we have the Kiev Fortress of self-defense, one of the towers which was basically ruined, but now this is the place which was repaired, and that is where the people who come back from the front can have some rest. And I would like to introduce to you the commander of the Kiev Fortress of Self-Defense. He will talk about what they do there, what they can offer to the warriors. Glory to Ukraine. The fortress is now doing a lot of useful work. We are not just the place where we gather all the products for people, for servicemen in the east, but we also, the fortress was completely ruined, and for staying of the people who come from the east, they need some place to spend a couple of nights. This place was not really prepared for that, and now we have prepared 3 living rooms where people can come and just have some rest, basically. The fortress is also collecting food products, medicines, warm clothes, everything that is needed in the east. Even if the guys come and leave, we do not wait for the convoy to go there. We just send all these things to the east. We would like to thank all Kievites, all people who are helping our front, because your assistance is what we really need badly. Please tell how can people find you. Kiev Fortress is Staronovodnitska 2. It's near Pecherska metro station. That's the center. Do you take any financial assistance, money? Yeah, we are just receiving the clothes and everything's needed. Is there a list of what you take? The clothes, the food products. We do not say we need this or that. People help with what they can. I would like to add, those who want to give something, you can call 097 826 863. That is our hotline, 097 820 6863. So we will tell you where to go and what and how to do.
Image UA Ukraine. My question is, are you helping with warm clothes and equipment and arms? And who can help? For instance, I have an information from Starobelsk that they cannot support a participant of the war. Do you engage in this, and how practically this can be done? Thank you for the question. In fact, our center was created from several units, starting from March, when the Russian aggression has just started. There was quite a lot of questions, both legal and other. We have legal help at our center. There's a lawyer who is engaged in these issues. She provides help herself. You can call our hotline and they'll give her a number to you. We also work with partners, the Legal Center for the Support of Volunteers, and several organizations that started in Maidan. We are coordinated our efforts to, as much as we can, help people on the front line with the documents, tell them or their near and dear how to do this. Is it safe to transport those caravans, those convoys, because there's shelling and firing at those convoys? Well, all our convoys have got there safely. We don't have casualties. Yes, there were some firings and shellings. However, whatever we took in convoys to different battalions, everything was delivered there. And my question to Roman about international help from Poland and Lithuania, what specifically this was. Again, we are rather active with partners in Ukraine and abroad. As far as Lithuanian help is concerned, we agreed, and this is a joint action by the Center for Support of Volunteers and the Society to Help the Defense of Ukraine. Yuri Chishmar was in Lithuania. They exchanged experience about protection of the population, and they also established communication with the Baltic Center to support military. These are, in fact, 3 organizations that agreed to cooperate, and through Boryspil Airport, they passed cargoes to us, although this was not too simple to get this from Boryspil, because we had to go through several legal rounds to get it through customs. There is still the problem, and it is hard to explain this to our partners abroad, who are giving us a lot, and it still sits in airports and they ask us, do you need this at all, and is there war in your country? So I think that officials and MPs and everyone who can help us with the custom procedures should help us so that our fighters can get this foreign help as soon as possible. How long does it take on average? At the moment, it's got better. It's between 5 to 7 days, but sometimes it gets longer. As far as Polish help is concerned, our Polish partners have come to us. They have collected warm clothes and thermal underwear and camouflage uniforms. They brought up to 20 cars there, that four-wheel drives that were given to National Guards and to special units of the Ministry of Interior and territorial battalions, and even tank units, because, for instance, they don't have cars or jeeps for reconnaissance. So whoever addressed us with their needs, we put them in queue, and as soon as we got those jeeps, we passed them on to them, and soon we will get another batch of these vehicles, which we will send to the front. And also there were warm clothes and other things, but mostly of civilian designation. For instance, they did not bring body armor or helmets because they are difficult to take through the border, and we would have been waiting for another month. Another question: there's a lot of confiscated commodities in the custody of our customs. Are they passing this on to our army? And do you have any information on this? Yes, really, in different services of the customs controls, quite a lot of confiscated goods, not only warm clothes needed for the front. There are a lot of vehicles as well, and well-run vehicles that are on the so-called fine grounds, but to snatch them from officials' paws is impossible. We have applied to the Cabinet of Ministers and other official bodies, but before they considered those issues, the cars turned out in other places. This is very hard, but we will try to establish cooperation with the customs and other services as well. And whom have you addressed for help in order to solve this question? The last body that we addressed was the Cabinet of Ministers that did consider this and issued a positive decision, but after we got this decision to the place where the cars were, they turned out in another place. So we will have this to do this anew, and you can go in circles on and on.
Do you have a direct dialogue with the Cabinet of Ministers, or do you need to officially send some letters, or can you call someone? We are ready to meet with the representatives of the authorities, with the Cabinet of Ministers who are responsible for that, to discuss it so that we can get it efficiently. We're talking to them. They want to do it, but they say you need this or that certificate, and it really takes time. It's difficult to do that. We need to work on that, and we would like to address the civil servants who are responsible for that, so that they help. We are ready to provide our proposals, not just as the central headquarters, but also our people from regions. They also are faced with such problems, unless there are any more questions, I would like to thank you too for your work, and our next event roundtable will be held here at 3. We'll be talking to different experts, historians about a vision of the future of